Hello everyone, thank you so much for joining me. I am here to do a little get ready with me using a bunch of PR stuff that I unboxed just last night actually. I had some boxes building up the door, some really cool things. By the way, shout out Alani New energy drinks. They sent me a bunch of peach energy drinks. I'm very excited to try that. Right now we've got our coffee. It's been a wild weekend. The girls got to do like a pregame performance at the Cardinals game this past Saturday, and then the following day, Belle was in the county fair children's pageant where she got first runner-up. Yay for her. It was a really good time and just a very jam-packed time, though. I feel like I've hardly been home. Oh, also on Friday, I got my hair cut. Mom cut my hair, and we're a lot shorter now. I really needed to get some of the length off, but I've got a bunch of layers in there. When I put it in hot rollers, it takes on a real like old school glamour vibe, which I love. Anyways, I'll have to bust that out in a future video. I'm running a little behind today. But one thing I got in PR, which I thought was interesting, is something that's not really like new on the market, but I think something that maybe Too Faced just wanted to keep in the mix. I got a Born This Way foundation, and I haven't used this in quite some time. I've used the matte, and I continue to love the matte version. That's one of my strongest staying power foundations that I own. But let's go ahead and use this classic Born This Way. They call this Undetectable Medium to Full Coverage Foundation, and I have light beige here, so we're just gonna pump some of that out. I've already got my skincare and everything on. I think that's about a full pump. But the performance at the Cardinals game was like my first time as a coach, like being part of a performance, you know, that was going on. And I'm helping a lot with like the youngest team, and I'm just really glad we didn't lose anybody in Busch Stadium. We all stayed in our line. There were times when people wanted to run off and find mommy or daddy and find a water. I'm like, no, you can't go. I was like texting Bub to go buy waters for these kids who didn't have waters with them because I was not gonna let them go run off and then we lose them. No. We're keeping track of 10 kids? Okay, I'm keeping track of 10 kids. But fortunately, this performance was before the game got started, so it wasn't like I had to keep track of these children in the midst of the game, you know. It was just the whole pre-game time. We got there 2 hours prior to the game. 1 hour, I guess, was just to get our ducks in a row, and the second hour was to prepare, pretty much. Okay, Born This Way. Yeah, I would say straight up medium coverage. I'm trying to think what it's reminding me of right now in the look on the skin. We just really sorted out foundations and concealers and all the base products on my channel from the drugstore because I just wanted to do kind of a drugstore guide to make all of those kinds of products seem a little less overwhelming, give you a little more direction. This is making me think kind of Neutrogena healthy skin, honestly. Maybe even a bit more glowy than that for some reason. By the way, I want to do this before I get too far into the routine. Persona's got these things called Day Mask peptide lip balms. I like their take on that because, you know, we always see these night sleeping masks, overnight lip treatment type things, and they've got a clear pomegranate and one called June that looks kind of more nude or toasty. Let's try the pomegranate. Eventually we'll be trying them all. Looks like this. I love the little like a banana colored packaging. Okay, we've got a squeeze tube and we can see that tinted stuff kind of squeezing out. I'm a finger applier when it comes to this stuff. Oh, a lot of color. Kind of reminding me of GlossierBalm.com. You know how the ones that are like cherry and berry, they actually have a good amount of color. Fruity, but kind of in a natural way, like maybe an actual fruit smells like this. Oh, that's pretty. That's pomegranate, guys. Gorgeous. So that's gonna get my lips all softened up. I know I've got some other lip things that I'll want to put on later in this video, but for now we can enjoy this. As far as concealers go, I don't have anything new that I received in this bunch of PR, so I'm gonna use my newest one that I have, which is my House Labs, the Triclone Skin Tech Concealer in 03 Fair Rosy. I think I mentioned in a previous video this was a little lighter than I wanted to go, but they sold out of the exact shade I wanted, so I went lighter as opposed to deeper. Just for the brightening of it all, and knowing that I'm going into a season where my skin may lighten up even further, so this should work. I haven't been super wowed by the coverage on this one. Maybe I've just been in like a super tired, dark, circle-y kind of place this last week, which I know I certainly have. I feel like it's not the concealer that does the most in my collection. And that doesn't mean it's a bad one. It just means, you know, go in with different expectations. It does look really good on the surface of the skin. And my goodness, you pair this with the House Labs foundation and you've got skin that really looks like skin all over. See, look at me. It is doing good today. I am just dabbing in what I sheared out with the sponge, and I think this is a great approach for your most natural looking concealer. You always got to watch that inner corner though. You never want to just leave too much in one place. Oh, the little cheerleaders did so good. But I'm trying to make more natural for them. I'm trying to emphasize it all the time is we don't just want to do the motions, we want to perform, you know? The difference between just a bunch of people out there doing motions and people out there doing it with enthusiasm is that's what cheerleaders do. We're putting on a show, we're entertaining, it has to show all over your face. And I think it's very tempting, especially because some of this material, you know, feels very new and this is the first time a lot of these kids have done anything like this. So it's very tempting for them to get into like the concentration phase where they are trying so hard. They're trying to follow those moves and remember those moves so hard, and bless their hearts for it. But we're trying to also bust out of that and say we can still concentrate up here, but we can still put on a smile here and make it more natural to do. I saw some of the like just candid shots that parents had grabbed throughout and I'm like, they're smiling, they're smiling, they're smiling. This feels good on the lips. Does feel a lot like a Glossier Balm.com, maybe even a little bit thicker somehow. Yeah, I know some's gonna come off on my coffee cup. I'm gonna set that concealer. Do we wanna do Fit Me again? I've been using Fit Me all the time. We're gonna use Laura Mercier Ultra Blur. I love this loose powder. I love it so much, I'm gonna sift a ton of it into the cap. Good Lord. Set up in here. I will say, Belle's makeup for the pageant. It looked real good. And it wore very well too. It was kind of toasty outside. They were in and out of the sun. I used the NARS Light Reflecting Foundation because that's just a really good match for her skin tone. It's a little bit darker for me right now, and that's been what I'd used like throughout cheer competition time. Everything looks super even and just really good and just a really good color match. So we used that. I used the Ultimate Warm Neutrals palette on her eyes and just kind of kept it, you know, a little bit of lift in the outside, but nothing too heavy or dramatic. We did a very natural false lash. One of the most natural pairs. I had like the 110s or something from Salon Perfect. Cut pretty much in half. She's got pretty big eyes, but cut in half and just added there for thickness. And that worked out really well also. Basically, it made me feel like I didn't have to go through the lashes as much with mascara, and she doesn't like the lash curler, so. My face all over does not feel super dewy or tacky after that whole Born This Way foundation situation, so I'm just going to leave it at T-zone and under eye for powder. I promise we're going to come into some new stuff soon, but I don't have a brand new bronzer, but this was what I took on our little trip, our little overnight stay in St. Louis, this tiny little Laguna bronzer, and it's so cute, and I want to use it again. A classic. Why is mini makeup so darn cute, especially when it completely mimics the style of the packaging of a full size? It's adorable. But yeah, other than makeup, I have really no idea what the whole pageant stuff is about. I've never done a pageant. She had heard last year that there was a pageant for our town and it was on a day that she couldn't take part, and she really wanted me to find another thing that she could do like that, and so I found this county one, and it has like two categories, activewear and evening gown if you want to call it that. They ask a question on stage, which I love the on stage question. She slays that. But I told her this year, I'm like, this is happening on the same weekend as that Cardinals game you guys are performing at. Are you sure you want to do this? She's like, yeah, I still want to do it. Okay, y'all, the blush. L'Oreal sent over all the shades of their Infallible 24-hour blush. So we already had Confident Pink. Okay, we had that, we like that. Oh, hello, Rosie. What we also have now is Fearless Coral. We have Daring Rosewood. And we have Legendary Berry. They mean business. They mean business. Kind of wondering about this rosewood. It looks kind of like deep and brownish. I'm really wondering what that's going to turn out to be on the cheeks. I kind of know what this is going to look like. I kind of know what this is going to look like. This is the mystery. Yesterday morning, I got one of the fall Starbucks drinks. I'm not a huge Starbucks person. Not that I don't like it. I think it's really, really good. I just don't find myself in circumstances where I'm getting it often. I make my coffee at home in the morning. I'm not really out and abouting to Starbucks enough. Maybe I should more, I don't know. Maybe I will more because I got one of those fall drinks. I got the, what is it, the apple crisp oat milk something macchiato. It was so good. It was warm. It just soothed me from the inside out. It tasted like it wasn't 87 degrees outside. I loved it. I'm sorry, but what was up with the last day of September being like nearly 90 degrees outside? Here we are, Daring Rosewood. I know these are pigmented, so we're just going to get a little bit on our e.l.f. blush brush and just see. Okay. It's interesting how it's translating to like a rich peach look on the cheeks. You're getting that earthiness, you're getting that warmth definitely out of this shade. I like it, but you know, you gotta go easy because look what I'm doing. I'm not even like dusting my brush back and forth. I'm pressing it in and then I'm tapping off any excess there might be. Maybe I can get a little bit more. There we go. Yes, blush. Blush. Yeah, give me some bold blush. I'll take it, L'Oreal. I like it. Oh, and they also sent these, which I haven't tried. And so maybe that can be our later on lip color. Really, lip colors are the majority of the new things I have. I have some stuff from M Cosmetics. I have some stuff from Buxom. For a highlighter, I've been kind of working through these Bare Minerals highlighting blushes. I have this one here in Peach Glow. They all really look more like a highlighter with just a splash of color infused, you know what I mean? They don't come off real blushy. Like this is the swatch of that shade, the Peach Glow. Looks a lot like a highlighter, right? So we're gonna pick some of that up. It's a nice, super soft texture. And I do like how there's no chunkiness in it. Like it seems really smooth. It's just giving us the look of brightness there on the cheek, not a real streak of bold shimmer. Love that, looks great. Work it up here a little. Cute. Something about that made things look even a little more airbrushed or something there. Then we are going to fill in the brows, and I have something new here from Too Faced called Fluff and Hold Laminating Brow Wax. So I guess we'll use that on top. Yeah, it says fluff up and lock stubborn hairs in place with this laminating liquid wax. I'm going to pull out my Revlon Color Stay Micro in medium brown. We'll just use that to kind of fill in the brows a bit. Good job, Revlon. That was a nice little brow there. I've got a kitten who looks like she's about to jump on anything and everything. Just waiting for her moment to go wild. They missed us. Oh, we had such a dope hotel room. It turned out to be really nice and way bigger than we thought. And it was just, yeah, it was awesome. All I asked for, all I wanted was one that had not only the bed, but like kind of a pull-out couch situation. Because if you can get the king-size bed, me and Bub and Bubba can all make that situation work. But then if that room could also have like a pull-out couch, the girls can sleep on that. This one had like a full-on sectional in there, like we didn't even have to pull anything out. The things we could have done in that room, you know? We could have hosted a couple teams up there for the after party or something, I don't know. So I'm just brushing through now. I've got it filled into my liking, I think. Good enough. Sometimes you gotta know when to quit. And then we take this stuff, which this tube seems really long. Laminating brow wax, lift and hold. Okay, so I'm just gonna go up through. Ooh, I do feel it kind of grabbing the hairs, sort of. I don't want all my hairs to stand on end, but I really want to get this through them. To me, I need a separate thing to sort of lay the hairs how I want them after putting that through, because this has so much product on it, you can't like keep going through your brows forever with it, you know what I mean? So like maybe we want it to stand up a little bit more right here, rake it on through the rest, but then yeah, at this point you got to bring in just a bare one. This is just from e.l.f. by the way. Just lay those little hairs down, or you can always use the other end of your brow pencil that often comes with a spoolie. Oh man, that's drying down. I don't think my brows are going anywhere. Oh wow, that feels very heavy duty. Okay, fluff and hold. I'm gonna put some eyeshadow primer on. For the eyeshadow palette, we're gonna use the Too Faced Popcorn Balls because this was shown in my little haul in the last video and I wanna use it for you today. This is what it looks like. We've got a really dark shade, some mid-tone to light shimmer. We've got this shade right here. It looks a little random in between the video where I showed it and now I've used it once. So I can pop this up on the screen, but I can see I did Deck the Balls. Deck the Balls on most of the lid, which is this like purpley shimmery shade, and we used our dark shade in the outer corner. I can see we had some of this up in the crease. Maybe we can spotlight a different shade on the lid today. It doesn't really smell like popcorn. It was supposed to smell like that. Okay, let's take some of this shade called Pop Off right down here, this matte. The good news from the first time I used it, the textures seemed nice to work with. I think a takeaway I'm kind of having with this one is you're somewhat limited with the looks with having just that one really dark shade. Like, obviously you can splash in different shimmers, but your darkness kind of comes back into the same tone every time. So again, this is this like little beigey, little bit of pink in it type of shade. We're just working her up into the crease. We can go above the crease. Let's take a little bit of the Butter Me Up because I think, you know, you want to see some of that. You want to see what this does. I think this is functioning to add some more color, but it's also just deepening things a little bit too. You know, we now have more going on in this area. There we go. Okay, this blended fine. I have no complaints about the quality or the function of those shades. That's good, but we want to get dark on the outside. This shade called Ballin' down here, dark, plummy looking, plummy brown. Let's start patting that on. It is so dark. Okay, don't get too much on your brush because I now have a little bit of fallout. But we're just pressing that in on the outer lid. I think this is pretty much the way I set up the last look. But I don't feel like I have a ton of options, you know? If I want something dark on the outside, it's gonna be this. If I want something in the crease, it's gonna be at least one of the two first shades that I put on. Okay, I'm going to pick up a little bit more of that Ballin' shade and I'm going to put it really truly in the crease, a little bit more precisely. And I'll give it to Too Faced. They, over a span of quite a few years, have done a good job making mattes. Mattes that are generally easy to work with, nice quality, easy to blend. I think it's looking nice and smooth. No complaints here. It's just looking at the palette and knowing this is kind of how it goes. This is how it's gonna look whenever I pick it up. Okay, so there's that. That's the mattes. We started here. We added some of that. We did this. I may as well do a little bit of a highlight. We've got this Don't Be Salty up here. Shade names are fun. So we're just gonna use a little bit of that up under the brow. Now I want to take a shade I haven't used yet. So we haven't used I'm Popular. Pretty kind of gold, but is there some green in it? It almost looks like there is. And then we have Sticky and Sweet over here in the corner. So this is a little more pinky. And then that other option, Deck the Balls, I used that the first go round, the one that's on my pinky there. So we're gonna try to stick to these other two. Oh, we also have I'm So Corny up here, which is a soft shimmer. That could be a pretty face highlight if you wanted to. But we'll go here to I'm Popular. We're gonna pick some of that up on a little bit smaller flat brush and just see what she does. I'm being careful to sort of press this onto the lid and give a little bit of a swipe, just because I feel like that gives us our best chance of the shimmery shades like this really adhering to the lid, not just flying everywhere. I'm not seeing any fallout out of this actually. So there's that. That's pretty. Okay, there's that. How greenish does it look? I don't know, maybe a hint. And then we're gonna go to Sticky and Sweet right down here. That's gonna come inward. And I really can see the pink coming off of this shade. And we're gonna blend her right into the green. Nice, looks good. Oh, I like that pink a lot. That's performing even better on the eyes than it looked on my finger. Look how those shades are just kind of fading together and into this cool darkness in the outer corner. That's pretty. I still want more of Ballin' out here. I'd stand by my comment that I don't think this is the most versatile palette. I think it can do a couple different pretty looks, but it's just not my favorite. I'd like it if they took out this or even this, popped in one or two deeper colors that could take this look, you know, from just going back into this shade and just give us another deep option. I think I'm going to take a break from going under the eye with the shadow today because I feel like I've done that a lot lately. Also, L'Oreal sent these. They've got these really light shades in their Infallible Grip. One is called Bright Nude. Ooh, and it's matte. It's not like a shimmery nude. Let's try to put that in our lower inner rim. It looks like it's laying down really well. Nice, okay. I haven't had that look in a while. Okay, Bright and Awake. I'll take it. And then Too Faced also sent their brown mascara, and I don't really feel like using the brown today. So I'm just gonna use this Huda One Coat Wow. I do like this mascara, and what we learned about it is it can do a good job layering over a primer. Like the Too Faced new primer, it actually pairs well with it, but don't try to layer up more than one coat on the One Coat Wow. 2 coats of this, it can develop some funky ends, and you won't always know it right away, but it can kind of start later in the day. Look at that though. Pretty impressive, 1 coat. I think those shimmers are really pretty on the lid together. Look at this. Yes. Okay, it's time to move on to the lips. I'm gonna wipe off some of this pomegranate. Ooh, look how that left our lips so nicely tinted pink. Oh, that's pretty. Love that. Like we said, L'Oreal sent several of these. Basically, they sent us a nude, a red, and maybe a pinky berry. Which do we do? I'm really having a hard time deciding. How dark is this nude? Let's try the nude. Let's do the nude. Just given the eye that we have. This is called Breakfast in Bed. And I had never tried one of these yet. These new, I guess, liquid lipsticks. A real cool nude, even cooler than the packaging makes you think it's going to be. Let me just look it up real quick. You don't often see me in a shade like this, do you? Matte Resistance Liquid Lipstick. Discover L'Oreal's Powdery Matte Infallible. Is that what this is? Powdery Matte. I would say it is matte, but okay. Infallible Matte Resistance Liquid Lipstick that lasts up to 16 hours. Get bold color payoff in one swipe that's transfer and smudge resistant for an all-day matte finish. It does feel kind of like soft on the lips. A real dry down has not happened with this yet. And I'm so tempted to pull in a lip liner and like alter the color, but I do want to be able to like see what this is doing all day, just this and this product alone. FYI, this particular shade gave me about 5 hours of wear. It didn't wear real well past lunchtime, but then I switched to the berry color and it wore really well for the remainder of the day. I think it's deepening slightly as I have it on. So the hair, like I said, I got a lot of layers in it. I don't have it really styled or anything, but I like it. It really takes to my styling tools so much better than my hair did before because it was just getting so long and heavy. But yeah, there's my look today, guys. Thank you for coming along for the ride. I hope you enjoyed. I'm pretty pumped actually about that Too Faced brow product. Like the way it froze my brows in place, it seems extremely heavy duty and I liked that. I enjoyed using the Too Faced Born This Way foundation again. I think the complexion's looking great. I do like this look that I have with the little Too Faced palette, but again, I don't think it's a super versatile palette. I don't think it will give you loads of different looks, just some different kind of like shimmers you can plug in on the lid. Really happy with the new L'Oreal blush, and I think I'm gonna enjoy these as well. This is a comfortable feeling formula. It's not coming off, but at the same time, it's not feeling super duper dry, like dry and crusty. Somehow, it's maintaining some level of moisture there. I'm excited to try the other 2 shades too. So thank you all for watching, and I'll see you again very soon. I love you. Bye.